We have a full moon in Leo coming through this week. It is opposed a pileup of planets in Aquarius. It is squaring by sign a stationary Uranus. And we might be finding that our heart centers are lit up. Hi friends, it's Emily with Emily T. Astrology. I am a Hellenistic astrologer, mother to 3 school-aged children and 5 pets, and your host for this, my weekly astro check-in, Hermes Speaks, where we explore the current quality of time, as well as bring in some mercurial messages through the written word and the divinatory act of bibliomancy. This week, I'm trying something a little different. As I said, I am a mother to 3. It's cold and flu season. I've had sick kids and blessedly very busy with clients this week, which I am so grateful for. By the way, if you're wanting a reading with an astrologer, come see me. I'd love to connect with you. But essentially, life has been lifing. And so this week, I'm going to come at you a little more off the cuff, with a little less preparation and just kind of riff on what I am getting from this full moon. Of course, I will still be bringing in some bibliomancy and those hermetic messages through the written word, but I'm just going to see how it goes. Let's get into the particulars of this full moon. It is coming through on Sunday, the 1st of February, and it's at 13 degrees of Leo. It is opposing, of course, the sun at 13 degrees of Aquarius. We also have in Aquarius Pluto, Mars, Venus, and Mercury. And the sun is right in the middle of all of those planets. So essentially at the midpoint between the pileup of planets in Aquarius. At the time of the full moon, we also have Uranus in Taurus at around 27 degrees, and it will be stationing to turn direct for the final time in the sign of Taurus on February 3rd. So at the time of the full moon on the 1st, it is certainly stationary. It is not moving fast. Let's just start at the beginning. What does a full moon signify? The moon represents our emotional bodies, our somatic, lived physical bodies, all things that come to be and pass away and fluctuate, the changing fortunes of our minds, our emotions, our bodies. When the moon is at her fullest, when she is reflecting the most light, fully illuminated, we might find our emotions, our somatic experiences or energetic fields are being heightened. We might have heightened sensitivities, heightened awareness. We might be privy to seeing and feeling things that are usually in shadow or not fully illuminated. That's what happens at every full moon. This full moon in particular is kicking off the unofficial start to eclipse season, as our next lunation will be a solar eclipse in the sign of Aquarius. So we kick off eclipse season with a full moon that is heightening our sensitivities, and then we're moving into the volatile dynamic eclipse window for the next 6 weeks. What do we think of with the moon in Leo? Leo is the sign of the sun. It is the sign that takes place in the solar year in the midst of summer, when there is warmth, there is play, the kids are away from school. Leo represents the image, the charismatic image of those that we often put on high. Leo is the sign of the king or the queen, and it speaks to the king or queen in each of us, our sovereign, independent, heart-centered selves, the light we want to shine forth. Aquarius, across the sky, speaks very much to the collective, the conceptual, it's intellectual, it's Saturn ruled. It has a detachment, an ability to step back from the emotion and the heart center and see the large eagle eye picture. What I'm getting with this opposition between the full moon in Leo and that pileup of planets in Aquarius is that we are feeling a push and pull between the personal and the collective, between the heart-centered individual sovereign self and the conceptual, intellectual, bird's eye view of society and of communities. When we have a full moon across this axis, and this axis is going to be so highlighted in the coming year or two, because we are moving into eclipses across this axis of signs. We do have Jupiter moving into Leo later this summer. We are really in this inflection moment in our collective and in our personal lives, where we are exploring the polarity between our hearts and our independent selves, and what it means to be a part of a community, of society, of a group. I think with this axis being so illuminated with this full moon, and then as it ripples outward throughout the rest of the year and into 2027, we are really in a moment in the collective, in our communities, in our world as a whole, that is questioning, who are those sovereign leaders? What are those ideal images towards which we are striving, or that we are looking towards for guidance, for leadership, as role models? Are we as individuals those charismatic, heart-centered leaders that we aspire to be? Are the ideals that we are looking towards honest and heart-centered and generous? What does it mean to be a part of society, of community? How are we individuals within community? Is there a principle that guides our collective impulses? These are questions that are going to be top of mind over this coming year or two. And it really kicks off with this full moon. Throw in Uranus in the mix, and we have a little bit of a jolt. I always find when Uranus is stationary, either retrograde or direct, my nervous system goes a little haywire. So as we have a full moon, that is always a time when we feel our nervous systems, our emotional or somatic senses are kind of like a little on overdrive. You have a full moon that is square by sign and will be square by degree within a day of the full moon to a stationary Uranus. We might be adding to our nervous system activation, our sense of emotions being a little overblown, a little electrifying. We might feel a little buzzy in our bodies around this time. So keep that in mind as well, that this full moon might really illuminate some sense of nervous system activation. And remember your tools for grounding, for settling your nervous system. So we've come to the part of the show where I bring in some mercurial messages from the written word. And this week, as I was thinking about the full moon, I happened to walk through my kitchen, as one does, as they're living their life. And I saw this book on the counter. I think my daughter had been reading it, and it just jumped out at me. And I thought, okay, maybe I'll pull from that for this week's episode of Hermes Speaks. And the book is Poems by Maya Angelou. And I said, okay, Leo full moon, what you got for me? And I opened the book. I read this poem called Poor Girl. You've got another love, and I know it. Someone who adores you just like me, hanging on your words like they were gold, thinking that she understands your soul. Poor girl, just like me. You're breaking another heart, and I know it. And there's nothing I can do. If I try to tell her what I know, she'll misunderstand and make me go. Poor girl, just like me. You're going to leave her too, and I know it. She'll never know what made you go. She'll cry and wonder what went wrong. Then she'll begin to sing this song. Poor girl, just like me. So when I first read this, I thought, I don't know how that fits, really, with Leo and Aquarius. But I sat with it for a day or two, and I thought, especially with what I was just saying about Leo and Aquarius being the sovereign heart center, the king versus or in juxtaposition with the collective or the society, the community. And what I came to is this, and take this for what you will. I'm just going to say it. I'm just going to say what I came to is we are in a moment where we are needing to question our solar figures. And that can be an actual person, like an actual leader of a community that you are a part of. It can be a father figure in the sense of someone to whom you look up or that you look to for guidance and support and protection. It can be an ideal at the heart of a political ideation, of a religious framework. It can be a concept or an activity, perhaps, that you have put on high, whatever. The solar figures, the solar ideals, we are at a point right now where we need to be questioning whatever it is that we are looking up to, that we are assigning kingly, sovereign leadership to. It may be charismatic. It may be attractive. It may draw us in. We need to believe that people are who they show themselves to be. Not who they say they are, but who they show themselves to be. Is it time to be questioning our solar principles, guidance, leaders? Do they deserve our faith? Do they deserve our loyalty? Or are they faithless? Are they making us feel like if we follow along, we're going to receive the love? Are they making us feel like we are going to be the one? We'll be different. It will be different with me. Or are we going to believe that they are who they show themselves to be in their actions? Are they fickle? Are they faithless? Are they selfish and concerned only with their own happiness and romance? Do they lack accountability? Do they lack loyalty? I think that's what I'm getting from this. What's the saying? Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Let's be questioning our solar figures, our solar principles, our solar ideologies. Let's really be questioning, what is in my heart? What do I really desire? What do I really love? What is the real light that I want to be shining, that I want to be emulating? Do the people, concepts, philosophies, ideals to which we have ascribed, that we have put on high, on pedestals, that we have loved, that we have romanticized, that are charismatic and warm, do they deserve our trust? We all want to believe, right? We all want to be the different one. We all want to be the sun, the shining sovereign light of the sun that is going to be different, that is going to change the person. She says this in the poem, like, I can't even tell you what I know. You won't understand. And here's the axis of Leo and Aquarius again. I will be the different one in Leo. I will be the unique sovereign one that will change his ways or their ways. And then Aquarius, you're not different. You're not unique. You're not special. You're part of you're part of the collective, right? Maybe even though in this poem she says, I can't tell you, you wouldn't understand. Maybe it's time that we try, right? If you're noticing something, if you're seeing something about an ideology or a person or a solar concept in your life that is showing you who they really are, what it really is, that is showing you in its actions, that it is faithless, that it does not deserve your loyalty, maybe try to tell the other person. I don't know. As I said, I'm just kind of riffing here, but this is what I'm getting. Question the solar principles that are warm and attractive and that we want to love, but believe with their actions, believe what they do more than how they present. I hope this was helpful and useful to you. Astrology has provided for me a sense of connection and that I'm a part of something meaningful, like a living, breathing cosmos. I'm a part of it. We all are. That's why I'm here. That's why I am here making this show, is because I hope to impart that sense of some little comfort for even one of you out there. If you did get something out of the show, please do give me a like, a subscribe, a comment. Let me know how this landed with you. Let me know if you're like, hey girl, prepare better next time. I will do my best to receive that feedback. And if you would like to have a reading with me, I'd love to connect with you. As I think you can probably tell, I love this. I love this shit. Go to emilytotomer.com to book a reading with me. And keep living from the heart, y'all. Keep living from the heart. I'll see you next week.